First at 6 o'clock, the U.S. Attorney for the Tulsa area tells us more about the multi-million-dollar catalytic converter bust that sent 13 Oklahomans to jail as part of a nationwide investigation. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Day.
And I'm Tatum Gwynn. News on 6's Amy Slanchik has more on the federal case.
U.S. Attorney Clint Johnson walked us through how this investigation started, what makes it a federal case, and what happens next.
U.S. Attorney Clint Johnson says it all started about 9 months ago with crucial information from Tulsa Police. He says TPD first came to his office, Homeland Security, and the IRS, saying Tulsa had seen a 700% spike in catalytic converter thefts.
As we started investigating, we realized that there was a nationwide ring.
U.S. attorneys don't typically work property theft cases, but this case, with 3 semi-trucks full of catalytic converters, several states, and $500 million involved, rose to a federal level.
Follow the money you're not dealing with just property theft. You're dealing with conspiracy, you're dealing with receiving and stolen goods, you're dealing with transporting stolen goods over interstate lines, you're dealing with money laundering. They're hiding all the assets, the homes, the cars, the luxury items, the cash, the guns, everything that they're buying with this money from illegitimate sources.
As for what's next, Johnson says it's possible some of the defendants could get out of jail on bond, but they're facing serious federal charges, and Johnson hopes this case serves as a deterrent to other criminals.
We're trying to keep some of the ringleaders detained. The courts will look at everything with it that has their criminal history. It's a non-violent offense, so some of them will get out, but they'll be supervised and watched and everything while they await trial.
As for all those catalytic converters, Johnson says they'll be stored in evidence and one day probably crushed and recycled. Amy Slanchik, Oklahoma's own News on 6.